Back pain is the largest single cause of sickness from work, and for many people it can be a chronic problem. At least half of people with back pain have recurring problems. In most cases, the pain is caused by minor damage to the ligaments and muscles in the lower back. This may occur from sitting or standing in the wrong position, straining the muscles when lifting or twisting, or from being overweight. Sometimes back pain is caused by a slipped disc. In between the bones of the spine, there are circular discs of cartilage which contain a gel. The discs act as cushions in between the vertebrae when a person runs or jumps. The spinal cord is a collection of nerve fibres that are attached to the brain and are protected by the spine. Nerve fibres from the spinal cord pass between the vertebrae, taking messages to and from different parts of the body. A slip disc occurs when the outer part of a disc ruptures, allowing gel to protrude outwards from in between the vertebrae, putting pressure on the spinal cord or on just one nerve. This can cause pain around the area of pressure, but it can cause pain to be felt along the nerve affected. In particular, the sciatic nerve, which runs from the spine down the leg, can be affected, causing pain at any point from the buttocks to the feet. Back pain can also be caused by disease in the spine itself, such as arthritis, or even by abnormal curvature of the spine, known as scoliosis. It is possible to reduce the risk of back pain by being fit and having strong back muscles. Swimming and cycling are good, but golf and racket sports tend to put extra strain on the back. It is also important to have a good sitting posture with a straight back. Crew seats will be designed to have correct lumbar support. So slumping forward in the captain's left-hand seat is bad for the back and bad for the image of authority. When possible during a flight crew should walk about and do stretching exercises. Treatment of back pain may initially require physiotherapy to relax tense muscles, and painkillers may need to be prescribed in the short term. Exercises, such as those shown here, will also help to make back muscles supple and strong. Almost everyone will have a tale of back pain and how it occurred whilst doing the most simple of tasks, such as picking up a pencil. But keeping fit, exercising and good posture will all reduce the risk of you being a sufferer. For many pilots, their ambition is to fly long haul to the exotic parts of the world. However, in many such places, there are additional hazards. We have seen how food poisoning is one such hazard. Disease is another. Even though one may not have caught any disease in the country, other passengers on the aircraft may be the source. And bear in mind that approximately 2/3 of the air in an airliner is recirculated. So, we will look briefly at the more common diseases that one is likely to encounter, starting with malaria. The illness is transmitted by the bite of the female mosquito, and the symptoms are recurrent cyclic fever, uncontrolled shivering, and delirium. It kills about 1 million children in Africa each year. In 2005, there were 1,754 reported cases in the United Kingdom, most of which were contracted in West Africa. The best way to avoid catching malaria is to avoid being bitten, by wearing long-sleeved and long-legged clothes in the evening when the insects are active. Use nets where provided. Spray your hotel room before going out for the evening, and close windows and doors. There are various courses of tablets which can be taken in order to avoid or minimise the effects of malaria, and medical advice should be taken as to the appropriate treatment. Indeed, the failure to take chemoprophylactic precautions remains the key risk factor for both malaria illness and death from malaria. A list of countries where malaria and other tropical diseases are endemic, and the precautions to be taken, can be found on the internet under Foreign Travel Illness. It is the crew's own responsibility to be properly vaccinated and to take the necessary precautions. Tuberculosis has been resurgent in the last few years. This potentially fatal disease was virtually extinct in the developed world and under control elsewhere. However, in recent years, there has been a great upsurge in many parts of Africa, in association with AIDS. Tuberculosis is passed by airborne water droplets, such as coughs and sneezes. The organism may lie dormant for several years before symptoms appear. Unpasteurized milk from TB-infected cows also passes the illness. Symptoms include a hacking cough, anorexia, chest pain, shortness of breath, fever and sweating. Hospitalization is necessary, and recovery is a long process, during which a pilot will be grounded. Vaccination prevents its contagion. Smallpox is an acute viral infection. Although the World Health Organization stated in May 1980 that the disease had been eradicated, cases have reappeared. Symptoms of smallpox are severe aching pain followed by a pustular rash, which can cover the skin completely. Death usually occurs within 2 weeks. Smallpox is exceedingly infectious. Cholera is contracted through food or water which has been contaminated by the feces of infected persons. Outbreaks therefore reflect poor sanitary and hygienic conditions. Symptoms include vomiting, cramps, diarrhea, resulting in a dangerous loss of body fluids of up to 19 litres a day, and the loss of minerals and electrolytes. Once the fluids have been replaced, antibiotics may be given to stop the bacteria. There is a vaccine, but it is of questionable benefit. Drinking only boiled or bottled water and eating only cooked food are the best preventative measures. Always check the bottles are properly sealed, as in some countries, used bottles are refilled with contaminated water. Yellow fever is an acute destructive disease, usually found in tropical regions, and is caused by a virus transmitted by infected mosquitoes during daylight hours. The virus has an incubation period of between 3 to 8 days. Symptoms include fever, liver damage and jaundice, hence the name yellow, and internal disorders. Treatment consists of maintaining the blood volume, and transfusions may be necessary. Vaccination, which can only be obtained in specified centres, confers immunity for 10 years, and many countries will not allow entry without proof of vaccination. Tetanus is a bacterial infection, which is transmitted through spores via a puncture in the skin, such as a cut or an operation. The bacteria attack the central nervous system and cause unopposed muscle contraction and spasm, as shown in this painting of 1809. If untreated, death occurs in about 60% of cases. Vaccination is effective, and after the initial vaccination, a booster is needed every 10 years. Typhoid fever is contracted through milk, water, or food infected by fecal matter, and it affects the large intestine. Symptoms include high fever of up to 40 degrees Celsius, headache, constipation, which quickly turns to diarrhea, and a rash on the chest and abdomen. The disease can be fatal. Vaccination does not provide complete protection, and boosters are required after 2 years. AIDS, which stands for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome, is a collection of symptoms and infections resulting from the specific damage to the immune system caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, in humans. It leaves individuals susceptible to opportunistic infections and tumours. HIV infection occurs by the transfer of blood, semen, vaginal fluid, or breast milk. AIDS may take several years to develop from HIV infection, but once it is developed, the average life expectancy is less than a year. The main source of infection is in Africa.